leisurely fireside moment. Just going to have a random rap session with y'all. Talk a little bit about the goals. What we're trying to do here at Faithful Man. Maybe changing some things up. About how we want to address some things. Give a few moments for folks to jump on here. Kind of talk fundamentally about what we're trying to do here, or what we're kind of standing for, and maybe making some changes. And I want your help. I want your feedback. I want you to tell me, what you enjoy or what you don't enjoy about this channel. Because I'm not doing it to just to kill time. Fundamentally, everything I do is based upon biblical principles and what I think the Lord is directly leading me to do. In this day and age of confusion about what is masculine in today. And we have many different avenues that we're trying to just help men be men. In this day and age. And we talk about some things that I'm very versed in, very secure in, very driven in, and talented, and working in areas of my giftedness. I'm very real and raw. I don't try to hide or fluff. I really do try to help. Yes, sir. Thanks for sharing your high school year story. We'll lift you up in prayer. We're just going to do that right now. Lord, I lift up this man right now, this young man right now who is reaching out to us. And just lift him up to you. As best as I can, just lift him up, and maybe our channel can be a help to him. So what we're trying to do here at Faithful Man, and probably do some changes. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is get men to understand what okay, you're a girl. All right, very good. Thanks for sharing. It's just me, a one-man show. I don't always see all the comments, can't always comment on them, but I appreciate you being here. We do cater to men, but the stuff we share here is going to help everybody. But to uplift and uphold biblical masculinity, and what that looks like, and for you to understand where I'm coming from. that there's platforms and foundations that are very real in my life that I teach and preach from, but there's also things I'm learning from. And all this was born out of struggle. So we'll just wrap a little bit and get you to understand kind of where we're coming from and maybe some changes. And I want you all to like and subscribe. I want you to comment. I want you to invest. We got a lot of free resources, but we got paid resources. But I need your feedback. I need your help as I try to navigate these waters in the best way to help. You know, I can't help everybody. Once you try to help everybody, you don't help anybody. So my story began with a divorce. Okay, I'm a Christian businessman and preacher, and but I was failing as a husband and father, and it cost me my marriage and my family. And through that, and me letting God work in my life, I've created programs. I've wrote books, training manuals, thousands of videos, trying to help guys walk through that. And you can continue to see all these free resources we have, but there's 2 or 3 very specific paid programs that you know, if you're at a point where you can invest some time and some money, then comment. You can reach out to us here, 970-404-7165 or Faithful Man 513. We're working on glitches on our website, but we got free guides, we got paid for guides and manuals and coaching programs, one-on-one coaching. We get on a free call with you. But the other thing I want to try to help you all with is just what does real masculinity look like? I mean, what is real masculinity? And thinking about starting a new channel or a supplemental channel, I don't know where it's, because this one's pretty kind of broad. We've got links that you can link onto as well. But actually, maybe starting, you let me know what you think. Possibly just a channel that's something like everything masculine, and have sections in there that yeah are about biblical masculinity, the misunderstanding of what masculinity is, and then some fun sides of it where I be a little silly. I bring out my alter ego cousin, 3rd time removed, and bring in some comedy, bring in some humor, but then also just some practical things that are masculine. Okay, we're not all hunters and fishers, and we're not all service guys out there working in the field. Some of y'all are just full-time ministers. Some of y'all are just full-time office type of jobs. Okay, but it doesn't matter what your occupation is. We want to teach and help you understand real masculinity. And so I'm thinking about doing another channel just based upon that. And then just some practical things like, you know, in a fun way, but in a serious way, that get some of you men that you don't exercise, you don't work out, you got a sedentary life, a sedentary job, and you need some help with your diet. You need some help with your body. Maybe you're a little effeminate and you want to masculine up a bit. And we'll talk about topics like hunting and fishing, humor. I'm dabbling in the pipe and cigar smoking. I've never been a smoker. My religious views through the years have been totally against it. The more that I've looked into the pipe and the cigar smoking, it's got a significant story in history, a historical significance, a masculine significance, and I can't give you all the ins and outs of it, but it is different than smoking tobacco and all the other stuff as far as taking all that into your body and taking it into your lungs and dipping and getting all that stuff in your mouth. But it's, just take it in your mouth. Just something I enjoy, and I've enjoyed the history as I've studied a little bit of cigar and pipe smoking and talk a little bit about that. And I'm not a drinker. I've never have been a drinker, but I'm dabbling in because a customer gave me a little bit of whiskey a few weeks ago. And, man, I don't know that anybody ever drinks alcohol and think, man, that's awesome. Man, that tastes great. Because it's nasty. It's nasty. But as I look into the history of maybe some bourbon and some whiskey drinking, just sipping on that and smoking a pipe, it's just kind of bringing a more calm, relaxing thing to me. It's not necessary. I don't fully condone it. It's just where I'm at right now. And that's part of what we do here at Faithful Man. We talk from the realness of where we are and what we're doing. And there's so much, because I was raised in the Baptist church. I'm still fundamentally a Baptist, but there's so much that's going wrong in our churches today across the board. And men are not getting the help they need from churches, especially from these contemporary rock and roll type churches. That's just, God's not in that. God can use everybody and everything. It doesn't necessarily mean that He's in it. At the same time, we don't have to be mean and harsh to each other, but let's speak the truth. We live in a day and age where everybody's a snowflake and everybody gets offended, and they think that if you're offended, then you must be the one that's right. And most of the time, the one that's offended is the one that's not right. People don't want to hear truth, and so we teach about truth. We teach sermon prep for you preachers, how to prepare sermons, how to walk with God, how to take your calling seriously. So many preachers behind pulpits today are grossly overweight. They're out of shape. They don't walk with God during the week. And then they try to prepare a message late Saturday night. And they get their messages from Google. That's just not how it's supposed to be done. You're supposed to be able to teach and preach from the overflow, dude. Because you're walking with God so closely, you're so filled with God, that you just can teach and preach at the drop of a hat, because you're just overflowing. And so there's techniques that God has let me develop in sermon prep. We help you do that. We help especially businessmen, Christian businessmen and pastors that are between the ages of 30 and 55 who have gone through divorce, and that the whole embarrassment of that, and the whole discouragement of that, and everything bad that comes from that. And we try to walk you through those things, and we put a 10-step program together. We've got free guides and paid for guides, but we help you get through this stuff. But you got to take it seriously. We teach wealth building principles that are biblical. So many of you guys out there are confused about what the snakes and the charlatans are doing, the health and wealth prosperity gospel preachers, that you're not seeing the reality of what the Bible teaches about building wealth. And it's very clear. We've grown up in a church culture the last 100 years where a lot of Christians believe that it's pious to be poor and it's wicked to be wealthy. And that's not only unbiblical, it's anti-Bible. God teaches us how to make wealth, and He gives us the ability to make wealth. So we teach wealth building principles. But as I'm learning from my coaches, and as I'm trying to learn the technical skills of websites and funnels and links and automation, and create something that's easy for you all to access, where you can access the free guide. I've got Um, I got links somewhere here that you can get free guides. I got access here where you can book a free call. I got access here where you can buy a book or two that we put out. I've got access to where links where you can uh, purchase our coaching programs and either do it on your own or incorporate the one-on-one coaching on a weekly basis. We got all those things. And so as I'm trying to learn all that stuff and help you guys, that's where we are. And there's a lot of stuff that's kind of spread about on this Faithful Man channel that I'm thinking about starting a separate channel and kind of tweak it and make it more specific. But we do want to talk about masculine topics, and it may be totally separate. I may not be do any teaching or preaching on that channel. This channel will stay open, and it'll be the clear all of everything I do. I'll at least put it into here, but get more specific, and starting a school platform where we can train men who get into the subscription-based side of what we do. But we want to teach and implement things that are masculine. Talk about knives. I talk about certain things that men should have on their person. Certain ways that a man should act. And so I'm going to end on some of that tonight. Masculinity is a biblical concept. It is a concept of God. It is a creation of God. It is an invitation, not an invitation, a invention of God. Therefore, He is the definer of it. And it's right to be masculine. We can't let the world tell us that true masculinity is toxic masculinity. There is a toxic masculinity out there, but the world, the devil, the government is switching all that around, changing up the definitions. So we want to understand that masculinity is biblical. And I'm just going to throw this out there. There's some traits of being masculine is people ought to be able to look at you from front, behind, sideways, or whatnot, and there not be any question that you're a man. And one of those things is long hair. I'm not telling you that, you got to go cut your hair, but I'm telling you that long hair is a feminine quality, and short hair is a masculine quality. So we do encourage men to have short hair. We're not telling you to be bald. We're not telling you to buzz. We're not telling you to have the high and tight. But it ought to fall in the realms of short. He ought to be physically fit, physically able at some level. People ought to be able to look at him, especially predators and dangerous men, look at a man with his family, with his wife or whatever, and just know, I don't know that I want to mess with that family or be in the vicinity of that man because he looks like he could be dangerous. We need to learn to be the gentle warriors and be dangerous when we need to be. Okay, so that means we have to be physically fit. We're not trying to teach you to be triathletes or go out and win all the CrossFit games or be Mr. Olympia. Most of that stuff is not true masculinity, but we do teach you to take care of your body. And too many men are just overweight. A lot of pastors are just grossly overweight behind the pulpit. A lot of pastors are effeminate. A lot of men are effeminate. And we're trying to get you out of that so that you ought to be able to look at you and think, that's a man. That's a man. He doesn't have to have big muscles. He doesn't have to be a Navy SEAL, but he ought to have some strength and ability in his life. So, I'm in better shape at 52, almost 53, than I was when I was 30. I've lost 40 pounds. I'm stronger. I think I am anyway, and my body's in better shape. I'm dealing with the aches and pangs of an old man from injuries year ago. I had an injury to my knee from a sledding accident with my younger brother, and he was just, maybe 7 or 8 at the time. I was 19 or 20 at the time, uh, and we were just heading down the mountain on a sled, making good speed and good traction, and I was in control. But at some point in time, I gained too much speed and lost control, and I just had to kick that sled to the side before we hit a tree. And since he was in front of me, he would have hit it head on, and so I had to kick it to the side, and I threw my leg out, so we weren't running our full bodies into that tree, and so I jammed my knee up. That was over 30 years ago, and I healed from that, walked around on crutches for a while, but about 3 or 4 years ago, that knee started acting up, and whatever damage was caused in there started to show up, and knocked all the cartilage out, and now my joints in my knee are rubbing together, and I got a bit of a bulge right there in my knee that doesn't let me extend full well. So I'm trying natural resources, and because I'm not going to do surgery, I'm not going to do it the world's way, and so yeah, dealing with the aches and pains, but we want our guys to be healthy. We teach you small little diet things that help you take better care of your body. Man, too many men, they can't even play with their kids because they're just unhealthy and overweight. We teach you to be intelligently strong, physically strong, emotionally strong, spiritually strong, to where you're just pretty calm most of the time. It doesn't take a whole lot to get you crazy. We get you off that emotional roller coaster, all that up and down, being a roller coaster. We make you emotionally stable men, but you got to put the work in, and you got to be willing to invest time and money into some of these resources. I myself have spent $8,000 to $10,000 the last 8 years to better myself, and the Lord allowed me to put some programs together to try to help men in this particular area of Christian businessmen and pastors, ministers between the ages of 30 and 55 to win their wife back, to win their masculinity back, to get their spirituality back, to get their walk with God lined up. We talk about our 5 pillars: faith, family, fitness, finances, and fulfillment. Faith, family, fitness, we deal with a little bit of favor, thinking about adding that in your flesh. But we're here to help. And so I just wanted to put this video out there to say, hey, we want to talk about masculine topics. I may need to have a separate channel, but I want your feedback. I want you to like and subscribe. I want you to invest, time and money, and we're here to help. So you can reach out again through some links, through some comments, like and subscribe, or you can text us directly at 970-404-7165. Find a calendar link, book a call with us, email us at faithfulman513@gmail. But either way, reach out. Don't sit there in your pit. Don't sit there in your confusion. It's no accident that you've seen this video, that you're watching this video now, that I felt led to talk about the things that we're talking about tonight. So make that first step. And until we meet again, keep your eyes on Him.